Hi everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Trials and Trebuchets. I'm sorry that I startled all of you, apparently.
My gosh, it's so scary. Oh,
I thought we did Halloween scary, and I wasn't scared at all, and now I'm fucking terrified.
You spooked me. Welcome to Mailbag number 3. I am one of your hosts, Luke.
Q&A number 3.
Also known as the question and answer if you're a fucking loser.
I am also a host, the third host, I guess, because this is Mailbag 3, and my name is Ben.
You're Ben 3.
The third.
Oh shit, what happened to the first two?
We don't talk about that.
Got it.
I'm host Carla, the fourth host of the host of people of Trials and Trebuchets.
Of trees.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm the fifth host of Trials and Trebuchets, the Q&A episode.
And I'm Sam. I am the sixth host. I was gonna make a Hokage joke, but I don't know how I would word it.
It would fit somewhere. I'm the seventh host, Luke. Welcome to the Mailbag. If you don't know how this one works, the rules are pretty simple. You all asked us questions, much to your chagrin, and we are all answering them. And we're going to have a great time. And this is for anyone who doesn't like the Halloween Weenie Hollow stuff going on this week, which I hope
Only
too
chill
scary.
vibes here.
Yeah. We're completely up to date. I guess this is, we should say where we are, like, canonically, just for people listening to this in the future, which is...
Well, I'm canonically in my apartment, so...
Cool.
Same.
We are recorded up to episode 144.
44. We just fixed
Yeah.
time.
Yes, they did.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Again.
they
Well, we think
made
we did. We maybe
Keepsy the
didn't.
Scop. That's the
We made
certainty.
Keepsy the Scup. We hope
Yeah.
we fixed potentiality. We'll see if we did.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're fine.
Yeah, I'm
fine.
sure. We'll find out next week. But with that being said, and the framework being established for what the fuck we're doing here, we should also say that we're going to be celebrating this year in our traditional mailbag questions and answer style and say, thank you all for 500,000 downloads, because that's the
Oh my
milestone
gosh!
we're celebrating this year. And if you
so
recall,
much.
12 months ago, it was 100,000 that we were celebrating, which is a wild amount of downloads in a year.
That's-
Holy
That
fuck,
number
my
has
poo-poo.
quintupled.
That's insane.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening to our show. Now here are the answers to your questions. Who wants to start?
I'll start us
who
off.
with the name Ben wants to start us off?
Well, first of all, my name is not Ben. I just use that as an alias. But
yeah,
this is...
all our names are stage names, right?
Yeah. They're not our actual names.
God, no.
So this first question comes from Patreon and is from Zem. This question is, for players and DM, that's you, Luke, what subclasses do you think your friends would be if they were suddenly thrust into a magical world, Dungeons and Dragons 1983 TV series style? So basically classes and subclasses in parentheses.
Yeah. I think Ben would play a druid, Circle of the Shepherd, and he would have
What
a bunch
the
of
fuck?
little cats with him.
You don't
and, like,
know me
fun
at all.
little pets. Or barring that, if the class Baker is an option, that you would be that. Like they would go down. It's like, you know how they do the acrobat thing in the intro, and they're like,
Oh my God.
acrobat. They would get to you and be like, Baker.
Baker? Question mark?
What?
Carla,
never
you're
seen Ben
definitely
bake.
some kind of cleric, but I don't
Yeah.
know what kind of cleric.
Big energy.
About
big
death?
cleric. Yeah, definitely.
death
death
cleric?
Sure,
Okay,
you can
death
be a
cleric it is.
Death cleric.
Holy shit.
Like, oh my gosh, I love pink and colors, but I also love death.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
the
that
listeners
tracks.
don't hear
Isn't
all of the
that
times.
technically pastel goth?
Yeah, that's pastel goth. You, the listeners, don't hear all the times we have to cut out Carla talking about death constantly because it just like dominates the podcast.
Yeah, we felt like it was the
Definitely a
podcast
tough
already gets
cleric.
dark enough. Sometimes we don't want it to have like all
Yeah.
those conversations
Yeah,
of death
yeah,
also
yeah.
come into it.
Absolutely.
Sarah's obvious, that's Bard.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
just on the
yeah.
nose. Easy. I think failing that,
theater
Sarah
bard.
would be a wizard, quite frankly.
Yeah.
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 You'd either be a bard or a wizard.
Yeah,
like, full
I've,
on.
I've, I've
Multi-class.
often said this.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe a splash of each one.
Yeah.
Would that be
Just
called
the
a
nerds.
blizzard?
A blizzard. A ward.
A ward. Ew.
Sam, I feel like you're a warlock.
Sam's warlocky.
You feel like a warlock
Sam
to me.
is warlocky, and just because I know Sam, your family has 12,000 animals that you like tend to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take the circle of the shepherd thing that I said about Ben and I'm going to say Ben's a baker, Sam is circle of the shepherd druid. That seems fitting. That or like some sort of deep old one warlock, right?
I've always
tracks.
followed the idea
Yeah.
of I get along with animals so easily compared to like people, for instance. Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
just
it's
animals are
fitting.
cool.
Luke, you're a ranger, I think, or a barbarian.
cool.
Maybe
I
both.
definitely think a
thanks.
ranger.
Barbarian for sure. For fucking sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I aspire to be that large. Yeah, I like that question a lot.
That question was really fun.
It's
I
really
like that one.
fun. Who's next,
I'm gonna
Carla?
cross it off now.
Sure.
Because
I
we're just
can
gonna
go.
we're just gonna go in alphabetical order of our own names, and in terms of how we're
Yeah, when we were talking
choosing
about who wants to go
questions.
first, that was a lie.
Yes, we already
How does
predetermined
that
It's
go?
deception.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P.
Discord puts
Yeah.
us in alphabetical order.
Yeah, Carla.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it
you're
does?
you only have to
So,
worry about
Two of the
who.
people here have S names. That's pretty easy.
Yeah,
My
SA
name is
names even.
L, and that comes after K, and then B's the second letter of the alphabet. So it's a pretty simple logic
Okay,
puzzle.
The B is easy
Doesn't-
enough,
yeah, it
but
doesn't
then I got
really-
confused.
This would not be a good LSAT kind of like puzzler, you know?
Okay. Well then I'm gonna move from the Patreon and choose my question that I took from Instagram
Ooh.
from Fetty Baba,
Ooh,
which
Baba.
asks, how do your characters imagine themselves in their senior year of school?
Yes.
Ooh.
Let me get my notebook just fast so I can write this down.
Oh my gosh.
If we graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big fucking F.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted this question was because I want Integrity to be like by the end of her senior year already doing work outside of school.
Oh.
Honestly maybe even doing research.
Oh.
I feel like Integrity might be interested in that with all the bull crap that is going on. She would want, and like the new things that they're finding out in the adventure of Wildcliff,
Just the
finding out
Shiora stuff?
answers for stuff.
Or the other stuff, like the planar research. And I think this was a conversation I might have had with one or two of you, but like there's a big discovery you're all kind of sleeping on because none of you are interested in research or academia, which is just like the fact that no one knows what the fuck the confluence of potentiality is. Like you kind of have firmly established that in your research that this is not a term or idea that anyone ever uses. So like if you guys could just become scholars on that alone. But
Damn.
Maybe I can make money off of it.
yeah.
I was about to say, you'll be rich.
Monetize.
I feel like Mira, in her sort of ideal final year future, is sort of like very much at the top of her game in terms of like, I've come here and I've learned like all the cool techniques, stuff that you can't get anywhere else. Things that like not only make her unique in her like musical abilities, but also things that she's like the best at.
Yeah.
Which I think that she doesn't necessarily feel like she has anything where she's like, I am the best at this. And so I think it's the sort of this sense of self-improvement and kind of things that she doesn't necessarily like need to have her name out there before she graduates, but I think that she thinks that she needs to have all of the tools in her box to know that when she goes out into the world that she absolutely will.
So does Mira just see Wildcliff as an incubating chamber?
That's very accurate. I think so. And some of it as well is like the technical abilities, but also like getting to know other people who are also going to go out there and be influential and that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Which I think was one of the things when she was arguing with Murandine about like, hey, being in all these clubs is not just like me
Yes.
fucking around. I think she straight up said that. She's
That's
like,
also
I'm
something-
networking.
That's something that your like parents brought up. Like your dad was like, "Oh, she met all Algrim. She should stay here and meet more rich and famous people." Yeah.
Mine might seem like a bit of a nerdy answer, but
Winslow? No.
for Windsor, Wildcliff has definitely been a place where like, oh, I can be here and I can express myself and I can make friends with a lot of cool people. So I feel like he would like to retain his ties like to Wildcliff even after he like would probably graduate. I would think in his senior year, he probably would like go for like a TA, like a PA position,
yeah,
like a
fuck
professor's
yeah.
assistant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then possibly like
Independent researcher.
do like an independent study and thesis on like the practical uses of magic.
That's the pipeline.
Because, you know, his ties to the farm and he wants to be able to help his parents where he can, and magic can do just that. So I think eventually it might evolve from like, oh, I'm just a professor's assistant writing my thesis and stuff to like, I am a full-blown professor.
Yep. I can't wait until we do the
Professor
50-year. I
Wallaby?
can't wait until we do the 50-year time skip at the end of this campaign, and Winsler's the fucking head of the conjuration department.
The head of the closet.
What if Whistler becomes headmaster?
Yeah.
No. That would
I
be
think that's
the
another
worst
question on
timeline.
this
That's the
list.
darkest timeline.
Aw.
What was
Aw.
Serenep? Just
I think-
away. Go on.
I think that kind of similar to what Ben was saying about like the intentions towards Wildcliff was like, you know, keep her friends, kind of learn to express herself. I kind of imagine that in senior year, like she doesn't really have plans outside of school. She kind of thinks that she's resourceful enough to kind of figure it out when she's out there, but while she's there, I think she would kind of like lean towards like magic that helps people. Like
Yeah.
a lot of what she has now is like more like self-fulfilling stuff. So I think she kind of wants to, especially with everything that's happened so far this year of like
Yeah.
everyone
Big
keeps
one.
getting hurt. I think she
Yeah.
would kind of want to branch out towards like healing magic and
Fuck
kind of like
yeah.
use that to help people.
Dr. Serenep.
Dr. Serenep.
I have a question that's kind of building on this, because you might know, if you know anything about the lore of the Wildcliff education and year systems, there's kind of two exit points, or three. One is expulsion, which is likely, or four, sorry, no, let's go back. One is expulsion, likely. One is death, likely. Another is if you graduate and just leave in fourth year and aren't asked back. And then the other is going the full 8 years. I know, I guess for Winsler, it makes sense to me that 8 years, especially if you said, Ben, like, oh, I could see him staying at the school almost. Like, the full 8 years makes sense to me. But what about the rest of you? Do you think your character would try to get that extra 4, or do you think 4 would be enough?
I think Integrity will try to get the 8 for the reason, or at least like if the people that she just grew up with and really love being around is staying. But if an opportunity arises after 4 years, and I don't see why she wouldn't take that chance. But for the most part, like if everyone's staying, I feel like she is going to stay because she has FOMO.
Yes.
I'm kind of the opposite of you, Carla, because your thing was like leaning towards staying unless prompted otherwise. I feel like Mira would be leaning to like, yeah, I'm gonna like do a 4-year program unless there was some kind of prompting of like, there is a very specific reason that I want to be at this school longer, whether that's like interpersonal connections, whether it's like there is a lot more you can learn, whether it's like everyone's gonna die unless you try to stay here. But I think by default, I don't think she would go for
Yeah.
the academic track.
That makes sense.
I think like with the promise that Serenep made with her parents, she's gonna try and as long as possible stay at the
Yup.
school and
Yup.
to like plan an escape plan or something like that.
Fake your own death.
Fake her own death. If she can get that done in 4 years, I mean, then she's good.
Easy out. Yeah, I think we firmly answered that one. I will now ask my question. Mine is from Patreon. I liked that question. Mine's from Patreon, from one and only Oceanic. Oh no! The progenitor has taken Artis. The only way to save him is for Swim to fight to the death, or until someone needs a band-aid. Who will swimmingly win this all-out brawl between friends, and who will be left in the deep end of the swimming pool? I need the answer. Artis's life and the fate of the world, too, probably depends on it.
I love this.
So in a fight between all Swim, who would win?
Not me. Not Winsler. Winsler would take one hit and die.
I was gonna say,
Same.
it's like, I imagine like it would be in the end a fight between Serenep and Integrity.
Yeah.
And I don't really know who would win.
I don't think Serenep could bring herself to fight Integrity and hurt her and kill her or wound
Hey,
her
no,
badly.
this Oceanic said that
Until
at
you
least
need a
until someone
Band-Aid.
needs a Band-Aid.
But at the same time, it was Artis, because I know Serenep's. This is like the dilemma, right? It's like Serenep loves Artis, and it's like, oh my, like this adult mentor figure, and then Integrity, my cousin, my family, who I want so badly to protect. It's like these two people who are in a similar role, and you have to beat one of them up to save the other one.
If I think, hear me out. If there is a guarantee of some sort, like if it's to the death,
Mm-hmm.
I think she would try to play even, just because that would be terrifying. If it was like a knock the other person out, she's going full out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Integrity has no ties. I'm kidding.
Damn.
Integrity will
Jeez.
curse stomp you.
Cold.
Integrity
So
has
harsh.
a fucking heart-eating dagger, so like she could just take you all fucking out.
I was gonna say she has like the progenitor there the whole
Yeah,
time as
yeah.
well, so it's kind of like
Well, to be fair, at this point, the progenitor's like, hey, Serenep, go kill your cousin.
hey.
It's true.
So this scenario might actually happen.
Sup,
just
I
for
need
different
another
reasons.
warlock.
Yo, you want to get rid of your parents and also get rid of your cousin? Hey, it's like fuck.
So Oceanic, I hope you enjoyed the answer to that one. Up next,
Okay.
Sam.
I have been told that the questions I have chosen were very Sam questions, and kind of
were.
looking at them again, I can very much see what you're talking about here. So I think we're just gonna go with the one that I found the funniest, which is from Instagram from Jan_Ju_. Which mentor is more likely to be arrested for stealing chickens?
My brain is telling me Dessa, but my heart is telling me Yexum.
Yexum doesn't have any use for chickens, I don't think.
Hear me out. If Yexum gets like the energy to, or like gets like the hydration, the proper hydration to steal chickens, he deserves the chickens.
Let me throw this one out there.
Okay.
Fenwick is a divination wizard.
Mm.
Diviners use like chicken bones and shit for divination and auguries and stuff. What if Fenwick got to steal those chickens to get those chicken bones so she can tell whether or not her students are actually going to continue being fuck ups or not? You know.
But
Now-
with Fenwick's divination, would they not be able to tell the cops are after them suddenly? For the
Here's
chickens?
the thing.
Yeah, Ben.
The question is asking which mentor is most likely to be arrested for stealing
Oh.
chickens. So
And
this
Fenwick
this is
would not
assuming they get caught.
Fenwick
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Artis, because that man is
Artis.
not stealthy
Caught-
in the slightest.
Caught artist.
True.
Okay, sorry, I overlooked the caught. I agree with Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artis 100%.
Can't argue with that.
You hear me out. Yexum is such a frail dude that
Exactly. That's why
Yeah,
they wouldn't,
no one
they
would
wouldn't-
suspect
But he
him
was
of
such
stealing
a-
chickens.
Yeah. And
He's
he was
like
such
the
a
guidance
powerhouse in
counselor.
his youth.
He'll probably be like, what chickens? I don't know what chickens are.
Back in my day, chickens had 7 eyes, and they'd be like,
They
oh,
wouldn't
it's not
suspect him because they wouldn't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He just hydrates his mouth, and they're like, all right, we've talked enough.
So that's a sufficient answer. Sarah,
Yes.
ask a question.
Yeah. My question for everybody is, if the unmortal restriction was removed and you had full choice of any character— Oh, this question is from Twilight Trinity.
You almost did it.
Oh my
You
god.
almost did it.
This is from
Almost.
Twilight Trinity on Discord. The question is, if the unmortal restriction was removed and you had full choice of any character from the whole podcast, who would be your picks for best Scop and worst Scop?
Nesca and Nesca, a
Yeah.
law firm.
But Nesca's unmortal.
Yeah, but that's why. But regardless of the unmortal restriction, Nesca was the best choice and worst
What
choice.
if it's necessary that they're mortal?
If it's necessary, they're mortal.
You
okay.
have to be immortal. You have to be a mortal Scop.
That's fun.
Kurt.
Kurt.
Yeah.
He would never sleep. He would just be playing with his little timeline toys all day. Bags under his eyes.
But I feel like he'd be so distracted by the toys that he wouldn't be watching the timelines
Kurt
and everything to
would
make sure things were
last.
working.
What's the longest you can go without sleeping? like
A few
10
days?
Couple
10
days.
days,
Yeah.
something like that. Kurt would last 11 days as Scott because he would just drop dead from not sleeping because he
He'd
was
be
so
a great
excited.
Scop for the time that he was
Yes.
Scop.
Yeah,
And then he would
11
burn
days.
out.
He's like the buffer. They realize, okay, we need to actually get someone
temp.
good, but we have like 11 days that we need to fill in between. Hey, Kurt, do you want a
Yeah.
job?
Yexen would be the worst Scop.
Yexen would suck.
One,
we
he's
haven't
on
proven
death's
that
door.
Yexem can die yet, and he's so old.
Two,
That's true.
Yeah.
we would probably just be in the timelines where there's droughts all the time.
I think an
Oh my
actual
gosh.
answer for worst Scop, if we have the mortal restriction, would be Bailey Blue.
Yes,
Yes.
100% be the worst.
Oh my
Yes.
god. Power trips.
Yeah.
He power
He
trips so
does.
hard.
And
Well, I'm the shepherd, so I do what I want.
I'm here to
I
do my
imagine, like-
inspection of your potentiality. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, this one's not up to standards. You said a thing that you should that was not allowed to be said in this potentiality
God.
17 minutes ago.
I
Yeah.
imagine like because like we have to go to like we had to go to the person
Yes.
to like give it to them. We would walk into the room and we'd be like, okay, so here's what we have to do, and he would pull the same shit he pulled during the setup for the lemonade stand. That we would just be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't even
Best
make it.
Scop would be Rock Jerry.
Really?
true. Scop
Yeah.
Jerry.
I think the
He
best
didn't
Scop.
even know how to do taxes, so he would just get the job, like being completely unqualified. Somebody would go up to him, see that he's made of rock, assume that that means he cannot die, give him the Scop necklace, and he would just be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
He'll figure it out.
I think the actual answer of who would be the best Scop if it could be immortal would probably be like Sarah Nepth, who's very responsible.
Responsible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally no one else in
Who
this
thinks
podcast
things
has
through.
shown that level
No.
of responsibility for
It's
their
true.
actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I humbly
and
take
Sarah has
it. I don't know.
conscience,
Yes.
which is very important. Maybe.
I
don't
think
know.
I think the issue would be like if her being taken out of the timeline kind of thing stops any discussion about what her potentialities are. I think she'd do pretty good at it, but she always worries about all the shit that she does constantly, like what outcomes will be, that kind of stuff. That I think that she would kind of drive herself crazy seeing all the different ways that she could have gone. But if
Yeah.
her becoming the Scop takes away that stuff, I think she'd be pretty
Yeah.
okay with it.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Ooh, is it my turn to ask a question?
It is your
It
turn.
is.
Yes, because her name starts with a B.
Don't you hear it?
Okay, I do hear it. Here's a question from Instagram, from Drawing Turtle 64. Has the way you all play your characters changed over time? I would say extreme yes.
Yeah, I would say if anyone has had the most change, it has been Ben.
It did not take me long to change the playstyle for Windsor.
It's
And
just-
even further, it's just
Yeah.
constantly bouncing off the walls.
I'm gonna
Yes.
make a lemon bomb. Oh no, what have I done?
It's like you put in a lemon bomb in, but then it's not enough. So you put in another lemon bomb. It's still not enough. You put in another one. Oh shit, too much.
we've gone too
Whoops.
far.
You've gone too far.
Carla has definitely, I feel,
High integrity.
changed how she plays because
Integrity, we don't have a column for you in the document, so
Yeah, select your own
Because-
questions, integrity.
oh, wait a minute, before anything. Yeah, no, I'm just answering the question. I'm not reading a question.
yeah.
As I was
Jesus.
saying, as I was saying, Carla did not know jack shit about how to play the game in the beginning,
Mhm.
and it has been 2 years, so I would hope that things have changed and she knows how to play the game now. And as you know from the first episode to the recent episode, the difference between Integrity hiding in the shadows to Integrity being like, "Hi, I'm here."
Yeah.
Remember
Has
when you
changed.
started off Integrity's character as being mysterious and
Remember
like
all
edgy?
Yeah,
all the
Sarah,
She's
Carla
such a
came in
dork.
so fucking heavy on the edgelord shit. Carla asked me, "Can I play a rogue?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Can I play a tiefling rogue?" And I was like, "Yeah, as long as you're not an edgelord." And she was like, "Okay." Episode 1, she slowly walks, silently standing in the shadow. She says nothing to the others.
Now she just fucking kicks open doors.
Yeah.
I love that though. I
It's
love
so
that
good.
spontaneous energy. of like I have trouble writing integrity because integrity is like a level of like genius and
know,
like
right?
spontaneity
Yep.
that I can never mimic that.
Yes.
Spontaneous
And it's
genius.
amazing.
That's been a common thread of people who do write fics for the show of saying like, I don't know if I got integrity very good in this one. Like there's a very big fanfic called I Write Trials or I Write what is it? I write
Trials.
No, you got it right the
Tragedies?
first
I
time.
write
Or
Trials,
Trials
Not
and
Tragedies?
Tragedies for the whole series.
Okay. That yes. Anyways, go read it. IWTNT on AO3. It's good. And the author of that has very much says, I don't know if I do integrity good in this scene or this chapter. Like, what? And anyways, it's just a common thing.
Integrity is unreplicable.
Yeah, it's true. You're one of a kind.
Yeah. Like whenever we get like a big break, I'm like, I don't know how to play integrity again.
You gotta listen to like the best of scenes of the entire series, then you'll be like,
It
Yeah,
contributes to that
highlight reel.
spontaneous genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah?
I definitely think the way that I've played Mira has changed just because I feel like I feel like when I started I didn't really play up how neurotic she can be sometimes.
Yeah.
is a good way to put it. And I think, you know, she seemed, and I don't know that she was more quote unquote put together at the beginning, but I think the extent to which I was playing somebody who like kind of almost overcompensates for not being put together, I think that came across more in like later iterations, I guess is the right way of putting it.
Yeah.
Like she's a lot more of an explicitly shown fucking dork, you know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
That tracks.
As the editor, I can verify this. It's a very clear just point A to point B. Mira started as someone who you were like, oh, Mira's cool. And now if you listen to a Mira scene, you're like, oh, Mira's not that cool. She's kind of a big fucking nerd.
It's
The
true.
turning point was
But nerds are
singing
cool.
for Delness.
Yeah.
Yes, Delness was a catalyst through which the audience can see how much of a fucking dork Mira is.
I like the idea that Mira was like, oh yeah, I'm so cool, and then she fell in love, and now
Oh.
she's just a nerd, and it's
I made Delness less cool, or like I try to play her less cool now because you always play Mira as such a fucking dork, and I just think that like Delness being a kind of giant nerd also fits kind of well. She's a wizard.
does.
She's some magical med school student, and the context of like she
Which
has
is
this
also
cool
why
jock
Joan is so
girlfriend.
fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
how is this a thing? It's great.
Yeah. I like all of the changes you guys have made to the way you play your characters. It's fun. I really like it. The modern versions of these characters are not the same people they used to be, and
They are not.
it's really I like the ones that we have right now.
I will say, like, with my character, like in my own head, I like the way that she has evolved has been more with like the storyline. Like she's more nervous, more responsible, if that's possible for Sereneth.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it looks like from your guys' sites, but I don't think I've changed her that much as of she's changed herself in the storyline, I guess.
Absolutely.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Next is Carla. Carla's question, this time actually for real. The next question is from Discord, and it came from a person named Oceanic.
Oceanic again.
And-
oh my gosh.
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
Two
So
of them.
many
And the question is, do Virgil and Ida go into hibernation for the winter? Will Kawagami migrate to warmer climates? I would say that Ida, okay, does hibernate mean like you actually just sleep the entire time?
Well, that's
or
not what
is it, like,
hibernating actually is.
Hibernation
technically.
is a state of extended torpor by which the metabolic rate of the animal decreases. But no, you wake up sometimes during hibernation to eat some food and then go back to bed.
Okay, so basically,
do the very loud snore.
during the winter, you're just lazy and eat.
Oh.
So like
Mood.
me during
Yeah.
the winter. So, then yes, Ida during the winter just becomes more lazy. Not hopefully, because I am in control of Ida. But what I'm saying is that she's constantly like super hyperactive and like doing lots of stuff and breaking things. But during the winter, she relaxes and sleeps and eats fake food a lot and cuddles.
I think I talked about this before. Like, it's because, like, okay, hear me out. Because Mr. Wiggles is a familiar,
Yes.
like made of magic and such.
Yes.
Kurogami is
Magical
paper,
paper. Yes.
like magical paper. Ida is a magically incarnated or like animated, like
Stuffed
plushie.
animal.
And then Virgil's an actual like living
Actual
creature,
animal.
even with like the gems on his back. Like he's still like a living, breathing creature. And it makes me think like obviously he would go into hibernation at some point, and Serenep would probably leave out like a giant thing of like food for him, so that whenever he's peckish, he can kind of like sneak out and chew some stuff and not and just go back to bed immediately. But I also like the idea that the magic that has animated these animals, like in our group, the pets, has also induced like animal behaviors to the point of like the instinct of I have to go hibernate now, I have to go collect food, go into a tree somewhere, and like I live here now for like several months, or like Kurogami like flying away and leaving. even though Kurogami would not be affected by the weather, I think the only one
Yeah.
who wouldn't be caught by this is Mr. Wiggles, because Mr. Wiggles is tethered to Winslow.
Yeah. I think that's a good catch, Sam, because Ida literally does just act like an actual squirrel. Even though she cannot eat, she chews on things. She makes burrows, even though she cannot die of the cold, etc. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I like
Virgil's
that.
absolutely going to take over Serenep's fucking closet during the winter and just like grow massive in the, in the winter.
guys know house hippos. I just imagined that, but it's
Oh.
Virgil. A giant hedgehog is going to be my house
Except it's
hippo.
a giant ball of amethyst
I
spikes.
think
I love
we've talked about house hippos in every single mailbag.
because
very
house
guess
hippos
so.
are like
I wouldn't be
they're like-
surprised.
but they're
if
like
it-
an
if we did.
icon in our childhoods as
Yeah.
Canadian people.
It's true.
It's true.
Like that we just want them. And now I
So,
have one. His name is Virgil.
Sarah, is Kurogami going to leave in the winter so that
No,
he has 0% chance?
That would make me sad.
Oh.
No.
Nothing is allowed to happen on the podcast that makes me sad.
All of a sudden,
Not allowed.
all of a sudden, Mira will just like receive like a letter. Mama, I miss you so much.
Mama, I have gained a
That's a
family
great
with the
Kurogami
crows.
impression.
That's really good. You should do Kurogami's voice the next time he shows up. Fun fact, Kurogami has not showed up in the podcast since Of Pets and Prophecies, because I don't want to do his
Damn.
voice. It scares
Even though
me.
he canonically has a ring that can allow him to speak
Listen,
in common
if
with
you
Mira.
want to talk to your goddamn Mira's bird, then be the agent of that, Sarah.
I talk
to my
about my
Mira's
pet
bird,
every time
yeah.
I go near my room. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, Virgil, I'm gonna go say hi.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask a question now. It's my turn.
Mm.
I really like this
question?
quite a bit. From Chick-fil-A Death Fries or John on Patreon. For the players, what kind of bagel evokes the strongest emotional reaction from your character? For Luke,
An everything bagel, because it is the kind of bagel Mira would eat, and also the kind that would stress her out the most. Like everything, really? Everything. There's so much of everything going on, and now it's on this fucking bagel too.
I think plain
for
bagels,
context-
because why are they so goddamn plain?
Integrity will be cinnamon raisin
Ooh.
bagel. Both because like, do I really like this or do I not like this? Like constant like confusion, I think.
Cinnamon raisin.
Oh dang.
Why
Imagine
would you
the-
put raisins in a bagel?
I love the cinnamon, but I hate
Agree,
the
Ben.
raisin, and you can never get
And-
one without the other.
The second half of this question, which is very funny and is why I laughed so hard when Sarah said her answer. For Luke, which NPC has the strongest emotional reaction to an everything bagel?
Oh,
Now
Mira's
based
not
on
an
this, the fact that
NPC.
Mira has strong emotional reactions to everything bagels, one of Mira's parents maybe probably fucking hates everything bagels and it just stresses them out a lot. Probably Mira's father, right? And
Yeah,
he just
definitely
does not
Mira's
let them
dad.
in the house. Yeah.
It just
yeah.
creates
too
such a
much.
mess everywhere.
and
They
like no way to
do.
like categorize all the ingredients, because who even knows what's on there? You can't even be like, this is what's in this bagel.
I
It's
love that
too
it's
much.
like a hot dog.
stressful.
It's like
It's
a hot
excessive.
Shout out to
I
Delnis's hot dog hat that none of you made a single a single comment about in the most recent episode that went up, 144. I said Delnis is standing there. She has a hot dog hat on, and not a single one of you said anything.
I imagine that the
She has a hot dog hat
during
on.
the year in
What do you want
Wildcliff,
us
we
to
have
do about
seen
that?
so many different hats on Dallas at this point.
Yeah. That's the question, though. Thanks for asking, John.
Okay. Who's ready for a Sam question?
I am.
We are.
This is from Discord
Ooh.
from Nico.
Nico.
If you could freely transform into any D&D monster, which monster would you pick?
Ooh, I like these kinds of questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
very
have
excited to hear your answers.
I like Behirs a lot, which is like a big mini-legged lightning lizard. I like them quite a bit. I like them a lot. My page with the Behir on it in my monster manual is ripped because I would always look at that page. And it's just overworn from me looking at it. My joke answer is in a recent supplement, the horror supplement, Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. There's Nosferatu, who's a canonical D&D monster now. I'd love to turn into Nosferatu on Will.
Oh my god.
That's so funny to me.
Why is what? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What about the rest of you? Do you know any D&D monsters?
Well,
I
okay,
don't.
Are we defining a D&D monster as a monster that is exclusive to D&D or just a monster that is in the monster
I
manual?
think a monster in the monster manual because otherwise there's only like 2.
I think.
I gave my answer. What are you looking at me like that
I
for?
didn't hear it though. You were
I said
like,
vampire.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
So, yeah, okay.
I love dragons.
Oh,
I love them so much. The whole thing, even before D&D, I love dragons.
They're so cool.
So if I could go with a dragon,
What color?
works.
What color dragon?
100%. Is it weird if I say lightning dragons? Because I really like
Like
those
a blue
ones.
dragon? That's fucking cool
Yeah,
as hell.
I really like them.
I like blue
agree
dragons
with
a
you.
lot. I had a dragon encyclopedia as a kid, and blue dragons were always the fucking
Dragonology?
coolest. I don't remember, but
Damn
all
it.
of you always talk about having a dragon book. Then it was not the same dragon book as the one I had, but it had blue dragons in it. I really liked them.
I would like to also agree with Sam's sentiments about dragons.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yeah. For reasons known by us and known by the people listening to this podcast, I don't need to
Agreed.
explain.
Agreed.
And the ancient gold dragon looks
Oh my
really
God.
fucking cool.
Oh
Or the
my
ancient
goodness.
bronze dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Bronze
I'm
dragons are
staring at
fun.
it right now.
The ancient dragons are so fucking cool.
They're dope as hell. What about you, Ben?
Oh, that rules.
Oh, look at that. Cool.
That's the bronze one, yeah.
This one's hard.
Why is the answer
I-
Flumph, Ben?
It's not flump. I don't want to be a cotton candy thingamajig from the Underdark, okay?
Why not?
It's hard because I'd like a lot of monsters in the monster manual, but I think what would be good for me
Yeah.
is Pixie.
Oh, that's really fun.
that because
Because
you wanna
I
turn
don't
an
like
artist
being
into a
I don't like
pixie?
being tall, and 2, I think it'd be really funny to fuck with people.
Yeah.
That's
So you
good
would
shit.
actually be a really good pixie in that case.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, you can fly if you believe. Oh,
and I have a follow up to this, which we don't have to go far into, but is your characters the monster they would want to turn into? Is it the same as the one you would want to turn into?
No.
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 I would want to become a pixie, so no.
Thanks.
I feel like with Saranep, like she's already grown up with the scales when her parents don't really have them, so it's like the that wasn't English.
the othering.
The othering of like the fact that she had these very like prominent scales growing up, so I don't think she would want to go like full blue dragon.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, let's not answer that question full because it might come up with something else sometime in the
Oh,
podcast.
shit.
Who knows?
That was
Oh
a
my
good
God.
question.
Hide
though.
was
my
a
answer.
really
Get
good
rid of it.
question. Yeah.
Get rid of my answer to that second part then.
I like this question a lot. It's from Lady Gold on Discord, and the question is, in what ways do you believe the story/feeling of the campaign has been influenced by it being a podcast? Do you have any ideas of things that might have turned out differently if it was just a game between friends?
A lot more illegal activities. A lot more death.
A lot more combat.
I feel like we would have died in the fucking bottomless pit episode if this was not a
If
podcast.
this
Oh,
wasn't a
right?
Probably.
podcast, I would have
100%.
definitely hurt someone badly there and felt much like if you listen to that episode, I'm panicking. I'm literally spiraling because I'm like, is this how it ends? Is this
If you-
where it goes? What the fuck do I do? Why
you
do you
like
keep
to
jumping
look-
off the pits? Here's
like
a
to look
fucking
back at,
escape rope. Please don't
at
jump
a-
off. And then Integrity jumps off again.
Oh my god. Please look at a Weenie Hollow where Sarah literally bleed and then bleed.
There's gonna be heavy bleepage right there because this comes out days before that episode.
Oh shit!
But
Rip.
look forward to
Sorry.
that, listeners. Ooh,
Redacted.
what will happen to Sarah's character?
I don't know.
Dr. Locke and Ridley, what are you doing? The show is wildly different than what it would be if it wasn't a fucking podcast. Like one, it would probably be over by now. This campaign would probably be
We
over.
wouldn't have reached this stage because our schedules would be way more messed up than
Yeah.
to like make up for the podcast itself.
We would be dead in the water by episode 30.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoops.
my
Oh
god.
my god.
Redacted. Beep.
bleep.
Redacted.
Right?
We just keep spoiling it now. I did it by accident. You guys are doing it on purpose.
Is there's more to that question that I want to answer.
I think also in terms of like player decisions to be more spontaneous because like you also don't want to be like finding a mixture about doing things because you really want it while at the same time knowing that this is for entertainment
Yeah.
purposes.
Yeah.
So I think that there's like some of that aspect as well.
Absolutely.
My
I'm
style
trying
stayed
to
the
think of
same.
specific-
I
Really?
genuinely think Sereneth would have killed more people and not have
Hell
felt as
yes.
bad about it because Sam enjoys the chaos, but I feel like for entertainment purposes, we need to have like a real person reacting to those things.
Oh.
Next
no real
time-
people here.
Next time we do a campaign, Postal Workers, the sequel to the follow up, or not follow up, the completely disjointed next one. Please feel free to play people who would just kill.
Fuck yeah.
I know, like, when I play, I'm
fair.
like always thinking of it in the context of like it being a
Yep.
story and not just a game.
Yep.
Like I feel like there's a sense of like producing that I'm often kind of doing just in terms of like not only like what would be fun for me, although obviously that too, but also like what would be narratively satisfying in that moment
Yeah.
that I don't think I would be thinking about if it were just a home game. And that's not to say that I don't think about narrative when we play home games, but it's much
different.
more so when it's for an audience.
Yeah, it's a performance when you're recording
Yeah.
it, right? And it is fun to sit around just with my friends and like perform in our own private way of like doing silly voices and making a fun story. But it's utterly different when you're recording it in a it's almost in an intangible way for me at the very least. That idea of like always thinking about am I going to pull this around to be a cohesive kind of thing? Where does this end? What point does that go into? It forces my hand as a DM to take larger risks, as well as not larger risks. I don't think that's a good way of saying it, but it definitely forces my hand to play in a way that I didn't play before we recorded a podcast. I don't know how I would run games now because I only ever run them for podcasts, and I can't help but feel it would be kind of strange to not have that in the back of my head, always thinking like, oh, how long are we spending on this? We need to get this through, chop, 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 chop. Like no downtime, keep the story going, push on, that kind of thing, right? And then trying to float between all the characters equally, show the fun things, have like reoccurring stuff, etc. Those are all things. I think it makes it better as a DM, right? Because I think my role is different than yours as a player. Because the DM is already doing those things for the most part, and players aren't always expected to. But it is nice when the players do think of the story and try to bring everything together. But like as a DM, it's just making me do all of my regular things, but like with that awareness of we're doing this to be listened to, and so it should be like as good as it possibly can be, right? If that makes sense.
Yes.
I actually do feel you on that because I feel like I've gotten better as a player through doing the podcast just because like as soon as we like kind of start recording, there's like this much more immediate incentive of like speaking up more, just thinking about these things more because I feel like before we started playing, I often just like found it hard to, no pun intended, but to like take the initiative in those situations, not because I wasn't having fun or didn't care, but just because Sometimes I was like nervous and things like that. And so I feel like doing the podcast and having that like constant awareness of like that you're telling a story in this very active way has made me be more active and more invested as a player, including in non-recorded games.
Yeah. When we started this game, Sarah, this is a bit of an aside. When we started playing this game, the first people I asked were Ben and Sarah if they wanted to make a podcast. I actually asked Ben, and Ben asked Sarah because I was scared to ask.
Coward.
It was so weird.
But
Hey, Luke wanted to ask if we wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm messaging you for some reason.
But when Sarah messaged me and said, I'm going to play a bard, up until then, I was like, Sarah's kind of like a wallflower in these scenes and like sometimes takes action, but most of the time just sits there and doesn't role play that much and will just kind of is a good player, but like feels like they're very silent in these scenes unless they really want to speak up. And so when we started playing and when it was only the three of you and everyone had to like pull a lot of weight, not that having four people means you have to pull less weight, but it's like you can share that burden of like the airtime a bit more. And I was like super worried actually that you wanted to play a bard because I was like, oh, that means you're going to be like the one doing all the talking. Is that okay? And then I remember in the first few episodes, you messaged me like, hey, am I doing a good job role playing? And I was like, yeah, you're absolutely doing great. And now years down the line, I don't think I'd look at a single one of you and question like, oh, you want to do this class? Ooh, but you never role play or do anything like that. I think you're all like amazing and very good, well-rounded players, quite frankly. That was just a long-winded way to compliment everyone.
The small party size also helps, I feel
It does.
like, because
Yeah.
we used to play with a very large party, which made it hard to like do stuff.
Yeah. Planning
There was
took
like fucking
hours.
6 of us or some shit.
Let's go shopping for
the
1
most-
hour.
The most
my
players
God.
we ever had in our group was 7. And it was a
so
lot.
many.
It was too many. That game was horrible. No, it wasn't horrible. It was very fun.
horrible.
The campaign content kind of was lackluster. The DM didn't know what he was doing.
But the players were very good. It was a good memory. I think we thoroughly answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Next question.
Hey.
So this is also from the Discord. I
Ooh.
hope I say this person's name right. Lacrizal, Lacrizal. I'm hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So this question is: if you could have any D&D spell at your disposal in real life, what would it be, and how would you use it?
Ooh.
I
Wish. It's the ultimate spell.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Is there a spell that will allow me to move stuff from far away? Like, so
Yeah,
that I don't.
telekinesis.
Ooh, then that one then. Because I am very lazy and I don't like getting up and doing stuff.
I would want. I think having a 9th level spell. I don't know if Wish was your actual answer, Sarah, but that's lazy. But that like casting it is an effort, and like it takes effort
That's
to do
true.
that.
It
And then
takes
you'd be like,
takes stuff out of you.
yeah, you'd be like winded after. It would be like doing a marathon to cast Wish, which fuck that. I would
Yeah,
want
that's
a
fair.
cantrip, and I would want mending because as anyone who knows me knows. I'm fucking a force of nature in terms of I break things constantly and things I just run into and I'm like, oh, that's broken. Carla and I moved and I immediately started hitting stuff on the walls and like breaking things upon entry to the home. And I wish I could
You're
just
not about
fix
to
that.
say that.
I wish I could just fix that with a wave
Because
of
the
my
landlord can
hands.
hear you.
The landlord is listening to
Oh my
you.
God.
I think my real answer is it's a
Oh,
toss-up.
it's power word kill?
Yes, actually, that was one of the no. Either the spell sending, because
Yeah.
I think that would just be like really convenient to have. Like if you don't have your phone or you want to talk to somebody who's far away, like you want to check on someone, make sure they're doing all right. I think that'd be a really useful spell to have. Or I just think disguise self is delightfully fun, and that'd be a great one to have.
Yeah.
For like utility, even if you're like dressing up for Halloween or you just want to look different for an
Yeah.
hour for some reason, like
Ooh.
good fucking spell.
Dude, I can rob a bank.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do crime.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's great for crime.
I think for like how I spend my time, I would want to have major image.
Oh, yeah.
Because I create music in my head all the time. I create images all the time. And I have nothing to like properly like put it onto like a page or like put it on a canvas or like put it into like an app, because all my instruments got destroyed one way or
Yeah.
another in the last couple of
yeah.
years. I would want to have like that ability to like make the music I think of and like record it and like paint a picture and like take a picture of it and like have it.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I really
get
like that. Then I would sell it for millions.
Oh my God.
Magic, what?
Magic art. Buy my magic art.
Buy my magic art and my magic music, excuse you.
I would like to use animate objects. Just because I hate doing dishes. I'd rather the dishes like clean themselves.
Yes.
Just
That's
imagine
true.
like
Beauty and
the
the
Snow
Beast.
White thing where like she sings and like everything around her is like mind you, animals are the ones manipulating it, but like imagine that scene, but the animals aren't there and it's all just witchcraft.
Ben's just a fucking Disney princess.
Yes.
Fucking
Yeah,
Disney
what all
princess.
of you don't realize with Ben's pixie answer and his wanting to be Snow White is Ben is a Disney princess. 100%.
Not the conclusion I was expecting to come to.
If any of the people on the podcast were to become a Disney princess, it would be Ben.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question next is going to be from a Patreon individual person
A patron.
from Cutie Candy
Ah.
Cataclysm. Players, a nondescript witch has transformed your characters into a meal, dish, or food item that perfectly captures and expresses their personality. What food were they changed into? Luke, why is the picture used for your page on the wiki Pumukal? What's up with that? That's Canadian. Wait. Oh, what's up with that? Do Canadians know about Pumukal? It's driving me insane.
To answer my section of the
Pumukal.
question, yes. Can all Canadians know about Pumukal, that crazy little kobold? All of us do. If you meet a Canadian, talk to them about Pumukal. It aired here from 2001 to 2007. Every kid our age knows about it.
We
That
all
is
know
an
about
actual
Pumukal.
fact.
It's Pumukal.
It's Pumukal.
Don't pull their leg.
That's a lie.
It's a Pumukal this time.
I don't know why. Sarah knew about it because Sarah's fucking wild.
How did it come to be? I think it was like you had a picture that you posted, and then Sarah then brought up that it looked like Pumukal, and then we were all like, "Who the fuck are you talking about, Sarah?"
No, I had a picture because I was dressed as Pumukal as a kid. I had like the red wig and the nose.
Oh, okay, that makes
And like the shirt and the shorts, and you guys didn't recognize Pumukal. You were all like, "Who is that?" And I went, "It's Pumukal." And then I think you guys just found the delivery of that amusing, and so Pumukal persisted.
Yeah, I don't know why it's named after me and people. It's on my wiki page on the server or the
the
wiki,
fuck?
but you know, whatever. It's Pumukal.
It's Pumukal.
I'm
What
learning.
food would you all be when a nondescript witch turns your character to food?
I was just giggling to myself there a little bit because images were going through my head, and then I'm just like, what if Windsor was a bowl of porridge? And I'm just imagining a bowl of porridge with a stupid hat, and it made me giggle a lot.
I'm imagining the giant glasses sitting like, it's not even on the bowl, it's like just sitting in front of it.
Oh,
There's like a little hat next door.
yeah, there's a
Porridge
cat.
boy.
Porridge
The
boy.
hat is like a bowl cozy that like keeps the food warm.
Oh my god.
Aww.
That's all in his. That's all he has in his brain is porridge.
No thoughts, only porridge. Mira's a plate of waffles with like whipped cream and fruits and sauces and just like a million different toppings, I
Yep.
think.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
Probably a bit too much going on.
I'm trying to think of something super spicy. But I don't know if it's just because
Fire.
the player who plays
Ooh.
Integrity
What
loves
if
this.
Integrity
but
was like a pakora.
ooh, yes,
Yeah.
Pakora.
Crunchy, spicy. will
Integrity
hurt
is a
you.
pakora.
Yeah.
Spicy and full of vegetables.
I'm having a bit of a hard time figuring something out. I'm gonna be honest.
The richest.
What about maple
food.
I
candy?
don't know why, but for some reason I thought of like a really like nice like poached salmon fillet for you, and I don't know why.
That- I was thinking of. I was trying to think of like a really nice fish dish as well.
Like I don't have like a dish in mind, but I have like the flavor, like a flavored food in mind of like it's not real. It's like a savory food, but it's like like the first time you try it, it's something that you're kind of like, oh, this is an interesting food I haven't had before. And then after a couple of times, you're like, this is pretty decent actually.
Olives.
No, no.
No one can ever get used to olives. Once you hate them,
they're
you'll hate them forever.
disgusting.
Yuck, olives.
They're so
Sorry for bullying you, Sarah.
I don't like them either. I just thought they'd fit the example.
Oh.
Kiwi.
Ah,
Kiwi?
Ooh.
Serenip's from New Zealand.
I haven't had a
Unfriends.
kiwi in years.
If I remember, like, okay, I haven't had kiwi in a while, but I do remember, like, when we got them, we would just, like, cut them into slices, and then you kind of, like, eat them like an orange, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you don't...
I think the common thing is like cutting them in half and then you scoop out the insides or something. But you can't eat them with the little fuzz on. It tastes just fine, everyone. Go out and get a kiwi and try it. That was a
Are
good
you trying to,
question.
like, bring this back, like, the muffin thing again? Like,
No, there's nothing to bring back. It's just the way of things. You eat a muffin, you eat the muffin wrapper, you eat a kiwi, you eat the kiwi fur. Like,
you eat an orange, you eat the orange peel?
no,
You
obviously
eat
not.
the orange, you eat the
What's
orange rind.
the line for you? I want to know what the line is, Luke.
How do you eat a lemon? How do you eat a lemon then? You don't just like shave a
Why
lemon.
are you eating a lemon, Ben?
Why not?
I want to ask a question that I've been waiting for 3 years to ask.
Ask it then.
We
Oh,
finally
shit.
made it to a point where I can ask it without it just coming out of nowhere. Is there any particular moment that comes to mind when you were real? Oh, this is from Sheepolution on Discord.
Oh
Is
my
there
God.
any particular moment that comes to mind when you were really impressed by Luke's DMing, be it planning, storytelling, or improvising? And yes, this will be the rest of this episode. Please do spare no expense.
That's understandable.
Okay.
Many.
Nesca.
God,
yeah.
fucking everything in Faint of Heart was so good. I think especially because one of the things that I feel like isn't always well accomplished, whether it's like in other actual play podcasts or other games, is like a sense of urgency. Like the idea that characters, when they are not on screen, still have agency and are still taking actions. And I feel like that arc really encompassed that feeling of like, this is urgent and these characters have their own internal lives and are gonna do shit unless you stop them. Which I think was
Yeah.
very well done.
Like the fact that Nesca, the entire time when you guys were just at Artis's cottage, was trying to find out where her orb was. And like every time you guys took more moments in there to just sit around and not take action and kind of hesitate as heroes, I was like, well, if they're not, that was the origin of Nesca. I think I might have talked about this in CNC, but I wanted Mira to go and talk to her in the sewers, and I got annoyed that no one was doing that and that you guys were planning a fucking party. So I just threw Nesca and was like, okay, Nesca's going to be the proactive one here. And then that colored all of Faint of Heart of her being the one to actively go forward and be on her schedule as it was. Thank you, though.
Was that the same arc that had the crib scene?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Fucking devastating.
that was heartbreaking.
Love it.
There was so many good things in Faint of Heart.
There were, honestly, yeah.
I feel like another arc where things that might have seemed unrelated at first like came together in a really good way for me was Shake and Break. Like not only all of these kind of breadcrumbs of like things that you knew before coming together, but even like the sort of two-part way that the arc was done, where the first half of it was like going underground and getting the orb back to like, we're gonna go to the bank now, and like now you're in hell, and seeing how all of it actually ended up tying together. It was super good. It was one of those things where you were continually throwing seemingly new stuff at us, but none of it felt like it was coming out of nowhere, because instead of feeling like we were just getting a bunch of new salad toppings on our salad, it was like we were getting a bunch of new pieces of a puzzle that we had recognized the holes in prior, which I thought was really, really fun.
Here is more entrees for your salad.
Okay.
Just as like a side thing as well,
Yeah.
because I know, Luke, you just need so many compliments. Like,
Yes.
as a joke. That's a joke. But like in the time that we have been playing D&D, like before the podcast even, I don't know how you do it, is I think the best way to state this, because like the depth and the planning and the characters, and when we throw a wrench in a plan, like the way you're able to recover from it like so quickly, like I am always impressed and I am always excited to learn where we're going to go next, sort of thing. I genuinely, it's amazing having you DM for us, basically.
Thank you very much.
Unstuck the wrench.
I'm not gonna cry in this episode. Thank you.
Aw, good feelings.
Yeah. Okay. Someone
Let's
else
wait for
ask a
another
question.
Sam question.
Sam
Carla
time.
is better. Yes, don't answer. Sam, go.
Okay, so this is from Discord from Noda. What cringy middle school
Noda.
phase did each swim character have?
Oh my god.
Mm.
I don't even know what you would consider cringy.
Cringy farm boy.
Cringy farm.
Oh my god.
Your crops are kind of cringe, dude.
Jeez.
I imagine at one point in like before like the transformation, I don't know if that's the right word. Serenep was very much like the stereotypical rich kid whose parent has a lot of influence. Very like, oh, you're not letting me do these things. I'm gonna
Like-
tell my parents on
Like
you.
the rich kid villain in a Disney show.
Exactly. Yes, that's
I'll
the
tell my
cringe I
parents
imagine
on
that.
you.
Exactly. That's what I imagine. 100%.
I'm thinking now. You know, when you were in middle school, was there this kid who's like, I know so many things that you do not. Like, I'm
Oh
such
my
an adult.
God.
I think we're in.
and
I
know-
think we're
Yeah.
in the podcast with one of them, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Interesting.
I'm so confused. But no, like there was in middle school, there's this kid who's like, I'm better than you because I know so much.
The
things.
know-it-all.
Yes. So I'm imagining that integrity being like in the streets and learning so many things from like the strangers that pass by her town. I can just see Sarah like about to cry.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Bailey Blue. That was
Sarah
where
plays
I
Bailey Blue. Yeah.
That's true. That's my
There
character.
you go.
Oh my god.
But I think that's the case. And then integrity became humbler. I mean, she's not super humble, but like she's humbler.
What was the kid from Luca? His friend.
Alberto?
Alberto.
I don't know. That sounds
yeah.
Italian.
That's whatever someone look it up quickly.
Alberto.
So are you saying Carla that integrity was like Alberto from Luca when she was a young kid? Like, oh, I know everything I know. My dad taught me.
Yes.
Aw.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes.
And then you went to Wildcliff and met Bailey Blue, and you were like, "Was this what I was like as a kid?"
Oh god, that's so true.
Oh no.
I feel like Mira once dressed like a character from a Disney Channel original movie. And just very Claire's moment. Just very like, oh, this is how cool teenagers are. Probably like borrowing some of her sister's clothes, styling them in like absolutely awful ways. Like trying to emulate what she thinks that a cool teenager is from like her older sisters and from like books and magazines and stuff, but just doing a fucking horrible job at it.
Like Selena Gomez, Wizards of
I was
Waverly Place.
literally about to say Wizards of Waverly Place, Carla. It was on the
God.
tip
I
of
don't
my
know-
tongue.
I don't know why, but like all I really remember about like Disney Channel fashion is like there's just a lot of belts that don't do anything.
A lot of useless belts, layers,
Yeah.
sparkly
Think of jeans with
vests.
skirt.
Yeah, jean skirts.
Yeah. No, it's like jeans with skirts.
Oh, jeans with skirt? I
Like
don't
Yes.
know.
like not
Weird.
even like like a bell
Yeah,
jean,
like
like
a
the one that
bell
opens up at the
bottoms.
bottom,
Yeah,
and then like a skirt that has ruffles.
that's
Hi,
Buck.
hi, Ashley Tisdale. I'm talking to you.
You know you listen.
We all know it, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like Harry Styles.
Yes.
Windsor's the teacher's pet, the one that always reminds the teacher,
Mm.
don't we have homework?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, was there? I would have hated you.
Yeah, they're hated because they want to be on the good side of the teacher.
That's cute. That's very.
So they get bullied a lot.
I like that. I like.
What was
thinking
artists like
about-
in middle school?
Oh.
A nerd.
Oh my god. For some reason, I'm picturing the like how Heinz Doofenshmirtz looks in the flashbacks about how horrible his childhood was. Like he's like wearing like
They
the
didn't
little
even go to
lederhosen.
my own birthing.
Yeah, I imagine artists in middle school as like a kind of really just incredibly awkward kind of kid who didn't really. I don't think he was gifted or smart. Am I allowed to say that?
Dan, do you want to go to the playground with me?
No, that was when he was in Wildcliff as a young adult. No, that's what
Ew.
it sounded like. Yeah. I don't think about artists as a kid. I just think about him as a pebble now.
Oh my god.
I don't imagine artists as a kid. I just imagine when Winsler turned into artists, like just a small version of artists.
Hello.
He was born
Hello, it
hundreds
is
of
I,
years
the
old.
child artist.
I like that. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Do skateboards exist in a Gia? Oh, this is from Digo. I keep fucking. This is from Digo on
gosh.
Discord.
Thank you.
Digo asks, do skateboards exist in a Gia? Which PC or NPC would be most likely to ride skateboards? On a more serious note, how do y'all come up with names for characters?
Ira.
Skateboards do exist, and Ira
Ira would be a
does
skateboarder,
ride
yeah.
a skateboard. Yes.
Yes.
I feel like Axe would ride a skateboard, but he'd be bad at it.
Yeah. No.
Bailey would try to ride a skateboard and then horribly injure himself and then call
Try to
skateboards
ban
stupid.
skateboards.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
skateboard in private, hurt himself badly, and then ban them from campus. I think Axe would do the thing I did as a kid, which is buy a skateboard and then not be too scared to actually try to ride it, and then just carry it around everywhere as if you did. know how
Or
to
you
ride
like
it.
you like sit on it and like your entire body and you just skate
Yeah.
around like
Oh
that.
my gosh. That's me with my.
Some kids
board.
like, hey, Axe, why don't you ever ride it? And he's like, I ride it all the time, but I have secret skateboarding techniques that I'm not going to show you.
I was about to say, like, I imagine Axe as like the beginning of Skate Infinity, where Longa is like push me, but then he has the attitude of Reki. He's like, oh yeah, look at like all these cool things, or like
Axe is gonna be so hot when he grows up. What was the second part of that? What was the second part of that
How do
question?
you come up with names for characters?
How do you all come up with names for characters? That's the curious
Names
thing to
are
me.
hard.
You guys-
I want to come out of the woodwork. I want to start with this one. I think the rest of you, three of you, have very like regular naming schemes. And one of you has their regular naming scheme and then their joke naming scheme, which is very, very, very evident when they submit names to me, as might have been seen in Scandal, when most of the characters had regular names, and then one of them was named Jimothy Larold. I asked Sarah, are you sure? And Sarah said, well, yeah, obviously.
yes.
Anyways,
like you guys were there
when you came up with Sarah now.
yeah, I was like Sir Sif Sarah Neph. That sounds cool. Let's go with that.
I like kind of regular names because I think it's funny when a character sounds like a total fuckhead and their name is Jimmy. Sorry to anybody who's named Jimmy who's listening to
Oh
this.
my
I
God.
don't- that's
Especially
not.
if you're a fuckhead.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry to our one listener, Jimmy. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Jimmy.
sorry, Jimmy.
Sorry, Jimmy.
Jimbo.
Me is French.
French.
We're like the kids who like bullied another kid, and then the teacher makes us apologize. Like, sorry, Jimmy,
Sorry,
Sorry.
Jimmy. We didn't mean to.
but they told me to.
Mira is named after a song. She's named after the song Mira from the musical Carnival. Because I heard that song once, and I kind of had these like loose idea of like a person in my head, and then that's not what I named the sort of original prototype for Mira. I mentioned in the other Q&As of like we did a similar thing and blah blah blah, but when I was officially coming up with Mira, the song Mira from Carnival was my inspiration there. And when I'm naming other characters for other things, part of it is like I have little go-tos. Like I like alliteration, and then another thing I like is when like vowels in like the first name and the last name match, because I just think that it has a really nice sound to it. Like in my other campaign, I have my character Kimber Fisher. I just think the vowel matching sounds really nice, so I try to go for that. And then when I'm writing, I go on the website. I did this for almost all the names in Event Horizon. I went on magicbabynames.com.
Event Horizon.
And yeah, Luke, that's a great thing that someone should do. I go on magicbabynames.com and I type a name that I feel like fits my vibe, and then I click through to related names until I find one that I like. It's a fantastic name resource. Because you type a name, it'll give you vibe matching names. So magicbabynames.com. If you need a character name, I highly endorse it.
I write letters until I'm happy with how the name is. I don't ever believe in erasing a letter from a name, which is why
Is that
we
why
end
your
up-
spelling is
Mundane.
fucked?
Yeah, no, well, the spelling's fine. I don't know. I spell things the way things sound, and everyone except for the four of you understands how things are spelt.
No.
Sometimes I
Nah.
take from songs. And sometimes I have a fucking fever dream and the name Ferdinand pops into my head and I go, well, she has to be a character now. But, for example, like Adeline comes from the Alt-J song Adeline, which I listened to when prepping a Scandal in Academia and was like, oh, this would be a cool name for Delnis's mom because Delnis and Adeline have that kind of like similarity to them, right? Delnis was the first like weird ass fantasy name in the show, and I'm so happy now that Delnis is such a regularized thing, even though it's such a silly name. Delnis Wraithrin is not a name, but it's just so normal now, and I like that quite a bit. I like stupid names.
Riveton.
Riveton. Riveton, Ailton Valley. Yeah. I love, coming up, like either a stream of consciousness, kind of just like one letter, next letter, next letter, next letter. Okay, I guess this is gonna be this person's name. Kreska is like that. Gola Pedra. Anything in Isithil is like that. And then sometimes I will just have a word and I will find synonyms for the word until I find one of the synonyms that's close enough to the word that kind of like describes who I want that character to be. In practice, whenever I play a character, like my D&D character, and another thing that Nathan runs for us is named Hecatomb, because the definition of that word describes her as a character, or her origin as a character. And I like characters with names like that are just single word kind of things. So there's a lot of different ways to answer the question.
That ties into this other question that's also from Discord. And this is from Sid, SYD. What inspired the creations of your characters? Or in Luke's case, what inspires the creations of certain NPCs?
Fever dreams.
Fever dreams, songs.
I think me having joined a little later, like even though when I had technically joined, the first episode had not come out yet. I don't think the first episode had. Like, I know you guys had recorded
four
stuff.
Had come out. I know that for I think we had gotten up to episode 6 when you asked if you could be part of it, and we were like, yeah. And then and then Bookworms was running, and we were like, okay, you're gonna sit in on this one, right? But it was it was like the first couple that went out.
Yeah. So I think like definitely in between the time I had time to like what kind of people do we have in the group, and what could Serenepth be that wasn't just going to be a carbon copy of another character that was in the group. And then like the discussion with like backstory and everything helped kind of cement who Serenepth was before we started.
It's very easy for me to make a character in most cases because I don't think of names right off the bat. I just think like, okay, here's this. What would be funny or cool to pair with this? All right, mash them together. What else can we put in there? Just like a mishmash of random stuff until I'm like happy with what comes out. And then I just come up with like a weird name. The Windsor Wallaby is definitely like one of those characters that's just like, sure.
I think the name Winsler Wallaby stands on its own 2 legs, but at the fact that you told your dad what your character's name was and he laughed at it, so without even knowing anything else, if he finds the name funny and then Winsler being who he is, good stuff.
Short little gnome boy with a silly name. There he is.
Gnome boy.
I love that for him.
I have no answer.
What?
Like, I don't even know how I created integrity. I just remember the room.
Anarchy.
Yeah, like I remember the day, or not the exact day, but the location of where I was when I was brainstorming with Luke about who integrity was going to be. Again, as many stories many years ago about how it started as anarchy,
Apple bottom.
And then I started thinking about like how I just want her to be super fucking weird.
So that was choice because you've nailed
Very
it.
good at that.
So that's like how I sort of look at character creation. Sometimes I do want to try and be more serious, but I'm most comfortable when the character is very weird because then I don't have to act. It's just very similar to who I am.
For me, when it comes to characters who I might be playing in like long-term campaign play, I sort of try to think about like what role could they play in the group, like what are some like motivations or traits that like I think are in depth and like interesting for long-term play. Who's like somebody that I would have fun playing just because like there are characters that are interesting, but I think that I would get like sick of or not think of a lot to do with. So I try to come up with those things. In terms of like one-shots or like Weenie Hollow stuff, usually I'll think of like one or two like roles or traits and just think about how I can amplify them, especially in things like Weenie Hollow because we're playing fiction within fiction. So these characters are supposed to act like, you know, characters in a comic or characters in a
pulpy.
book. Yeah. And so I'll try to play up like, oh, she's a grifting scammer, or like, oh, they're an awkward doctor, and like just try
the
to.
Scammer is so quintessentially your archetype, though, in a fucking funny way.
I don't think I've ever played a grifting scammer before. Okay, I
Not
played
on
one
the
grifting
show.
scammer.
You've
I
definitely
played one
played a lot of
grifting
other.
scammer.
You've played multiple
During
grifting
our
scammers
test
at merchants.
one shot. I also played a merchant in Wander Home, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, not this Wander Home. It was a different Wander Home. Okay, I like playing fucking grifting scammers, and I like taking a couple traits that I think are fun and interesting, and just like playing off of those in like a one-shot context.
You're just digging yourself further into that
Yeah.
grifty scammer hole.
I like grifty scammers and girl bosses.
Yeah. I like that.
Greedy girl boss scammer.
It's true. That's Peggy.
Whose question was
It
that?
is my
Oh,
turn.
that was Ben's. Okay.
Yeah, that was my question
Yes.
that I stole.
The next question is from the Discord.
Oh my gosh.
From a listener called Michael.
Michael.
What is your favorite spur of the moment, dumb or funny background detail or NPC you came up with, or just in general?
Carla, why don't you start us off? Because you're the one who comes up with all the funny background details.
Yeah, Carla.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite is Hug Me.
Hug me. Is
Yeah.
that the chocolate mines?
The chocolate mine. I just put into the world what I wish was real in real life. Like, please.
Chocolate mines.
I want to just be able to go into a mountain and get like a bunch of chocolates. Or tweeter.
I love just bringing up the farm and adding more stuff to the farm. It's funny.
I agree.
Like, oh, we have cows, we have other animals. It's a shack.
We have a scale of magic that involves cows.
Magic is measured in cows.
Yep.
Oh, I love that one.
It's like horsepower.
Yeah.
How much magic could you fit in this cow?
God. I'm really fucking bad at coming up with stuff on the fly. Like, if somebody asks
What?
me, like, oh, what's this person's name? I'll just fucking panic internally and say something dumb, which
Toby
is why
Grass.
it's now canon that library organization in Agia is waveform carvings onto wood.
That's so
So I'm going
fucking
with that.
funny, though. I love that
Says
so
Ogre
much.
snot, though.
Ogre snot. Sarah, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you're so good at it. Yeah. I don't know how many times, every time, listener, that I've been like, okay, give me some sponsor names. Sarah just goes, this one, this one, this one. Someone else go, this one. And lists like a bunch of them. And I have to write them down. Interesting. Mine would be, Rock Cherry's cool, but have you heard of the grung?
Oh my god. Here we go.
The grung exist because it was almost as if, like, as you were walking up to Loud's or Chieftain Helpa's little hut, I was like, I didn't prep this. So I was like, I have to slow them down right now. So every single grung became a maniac. Like the one who you walked up to on the bridge who was just like crying. They tricked us with a shell game, that kind of thing. I don't come up with those details in my notes. That's in the moment, and then waiting for like something to fill in the blank of like, why would this be happening? Or like the shaman of the marsh, Moistless, completely improvised character who was just there to pad out the episodes that I had time to actually prep between recording sessions. Those are my favorite things.
I'm not good at coming up with things on the fly. So I'm going to say that my best was probably the Siren Swimmingly Smooth shampoo.
That was good.
That's
good.
about as far as it
Yeah.
goes, honestly.
The sponsor names
Shampoo.
are really good, honestly. You
Sponsor
guys
names are very
good
good. I
at
like
them.
those.
My question, this is from Aya on Discord. If your character, NPC for Luke, already was or had to convert to a TikTok/Tumblr aesthetic, such
Oh
as
my
dark
God.
academia, cottagecore, Christian autumn girl, etc., which one? Another take on this question would be if your character, NPC for Luke, had an aesthetic based on how they already are, what would it be called and what would it be like?
Oh, this one's hard because I don't know. I have like no knowledge of like TikTok or like Tumblr aesthetic culture. I'm like,
Sam's
what?
like, this is my
Sam,
domain.
this is your moment.
Okay, so I think for Sereneth, just because of how much she relies on knowledge and such, I would go with like academia. I wouldn't say dark academia.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm not fully aware if there's like just like a neutral or a light academia, but like
There
just
is.
like just like that kind of stuff.
Okay. I love Sarah. There is. Sarah, I feel like this question's also firmly in your wheelhouse.
I don't know if there's like a specific name for it, but I can definitely see Mira doing like an almost like pastel-y aesthetic kind of thing, like that very like pastel street fashion
Yeah.
kind
That
of
is
thing.
yeah,
That's
100%.
definitely where I
Yes.
see Mira falling.
I'm trying to think of because I feel like Ben would be like
Just Ben, not Winsler, just Ben.
cottage core, but like deep cottage core, like plants surround you kind of thing.
This cottage core.
Cottage core is like fucking cottage core. You caught it. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, I see.
Like,
You
oh,
see,
like-
okay, Ben,
like you
I
live
can
in a
explain
cottage, you collect
cottagecore in a quick
berries.
sentence. Have you met Sarah?
Me?
I think,
Yeah?
Sarah, you have like, I don't know, it's the energy about you. You're just so chilled out and peaceful. You're like, look at my plants and my planter boxes and all of my sundresses and everything like that. Look how lovely everything is and relaxed. And
Oh.
here's my tea and everything else. You know?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, well, how about this? Not me in particular, but Winsler.
Ah.
If we're gonna create one, let's just go with country core. I
Country
guess.
core.
Yeah, sure.
Winsler in a
Yeehaw.
pickup truck.
Just as country as you could go, I guess.
Straw hats, overalls,
Yep.
Yeah.
wheat fields.
Lives on the farm.
cows.
Lives on the farm, yeah.
Barn cat.
You like laying in like the field of grass, and you have like a piece of straw stuck in your mouth while a cow is nearby mooing, and
Yep.
you're just chilling.
I don't know if this is a Tumblr because I'm okay. I was never on Tumblr. I see some videos on TikTok, but I don't know like the categories. But now I'm starting to think that Integrity would be doing like those money courses,
Oh my
like
god.
like the tone deaf
scammer
like-
core.
Scammer.
not scammer, but sort of like
Scammer.
Integrity.
Do you wanna be your own
Integrity is
boss?
a crypto bro.
Crime core.
Buy my NFTs.
Ew.
God.
Now I'm imagining like because I see videos a lot of the time on TikTok about like, and I think this kind of connects to cottagecore stuff of like they make their own paper with like lavender petals
Yeah.
and like that kind of stuff.
Sarah, you're
I love
taking
that.
a pottery class tomorrow, and you're telling me that's not cottagecore, dude?
I guess.
Hear me out,
hadn't
Sarah.
really
I
thought
want
about
you to
it.
try and make paper, and I want you to transform into cottagecore.
I'll do
Sarah
my best.
actually sleeps on a bed of leaves and then wakes up
That's
and
true.
starts singing, and then birds start dancing.
Okay, so
They
we
do
have
do
two
that.
Disney princesses.
I guess I
now.
just
Got
never really
it.
thought much about the dancing birds. I figured it was kind of normal, you know?
Everyone kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh.
Why are we roasting Sarah?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's kind of been
Welcome to
rough.
the
roasted
Sarah,
Sarah the
roasting
worst.
session.
I
Every
know.
time any of us hang out, you guys just mock me relentlessly.
Hey! Do you want to know why? Because we all insistently mock the English.
Mock-
I'm not English. How dare you?
No, I'm saying that you join us with mocking English.
No.
Well, at least
Oh,
you guys
true.
mock the English, and I just kind of sit there being really confused.
I'm not English.
I thought you were just saying that because Sarah
You took
is like
such
part
great
European.
offense to that. It's
To what I'm
hilarious.
saying.
A part of my point.
Next.
Is it mine next?
Yes.
Okay. This one
Yes, Gomna.
is from Instagram. Art from Archeonite. For the cast, and I guess Luke is also involved in this because they
I'm a
didn't have a
cast.
second part for some reason. What's your favorite game? Also, what game would you think that your character would like the most?
I'm
Oh,
pretty
no.
fond of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
It's a
But I
good
don't know
game.
if it's my
A
favorite.
very fun
Easy
game.
answer.
I mean, they aren't specifying if it's like board games or video games or anything like
true.
that.
Board
I
games
like
is
The
fun.
Sims.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky.
That's a good one.
I don't have a favorite game per tell. Like if I had to choose like a franchise name, probably like the Legend of Zelda stuff. But I like the games where you're like it's open world and you just collect things.
Just an adventure.
I literally bought a game on my Switch recently. I forget what it's called, but it's like you're an alchemist and you just go around to all these different places. You just collect things. And the story kind of happens. I left the storyline like a while ago, and now I'm very overpowered for the storyline. Because I just kind of went off on my own.
I like science fiction video games, such as Mass Effect and Faster Than Light, which is a big fan of Faster Than Light. Those would be my two picks for my favorite video games.
My favorite game is Sims and Animal Crossing. And my character's favorite game is likely going to be Monopoly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Sereneth only knows like card games.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So she just likes card games. She'll play card games with people.
Mira would play Stardew Valley, but she would have an Excel sheet for it. Like an
Carla.
extremely complicated Excel sheet.
Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Carla's been called out.
Oh, you have an
Multiple
Excel sheet, don't you,
massive
Carla?
Excel spreadsheets for her Stardew Valley farm.
Yes, I do
Well-
have an Excel sheet to make sure that I am
Ooh.
to make sure that I'm optimizing the things that I make in like my artisan stuff, and also to make it the most convenient for me to just buy everything from like the seeds place to buy it at the beginning of the month, so I never have to like go and buy seeds from him.
Yeah, so
will
whatever
say-
Carla does with Stardew Valley, that's what Mira does.
I will say, like, once the update comes out for Animal Crossing, y'all aren't going to hear from me for a couple of weeks. I'm just warning you now.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm going to be gone for a while.
Ben, what about you?
We're not allowed to record.
We can
Ben, what's your
record. I'll just
favorite
be
game
lost.
ever, Ben?
I hate this question because it's so hard for me.
Yeah.
I
Like,
honestly
go with
hate
like
this
a
question because it's so
go with like
difficult
a
for me.
like a genre maybe.
Yeah.
That might work.
That's also hard. I don't know. I guess I would have to say MMO because I'm just drawn to that type of game, I guess. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to stay away. Like
Like
I just like the formulas basically.
Yes. Anything that has a
Yeah.
lot of like weird stat thing. As an outside observer of Ben's video games, anything that has a lot of really big crunch and numbers and like weird stuff going on and lots of story and lore and anything, Ben's like,
Also,
this is delightful. Look at this, Luke.
Also, it's like the social aspect of it
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
I am not a very social person, but I like those anyways, just
Would-
because a lot of weird stuff can happen.
Would Winsler play MMOs?
If not MMOs, probably like some form of 5D chess or something.
Okay. I was
hell
thinking
yes.
Winsler in fighting
Like
games or something.
like that game on Steam that's literally like interdimensional chess.
That's
What?
Winsler's.
That's literally a game on Steam. Hold on. what is
5D
it
chess
called?
my
where
gosh.
Integrity's queen piece actually can be used in the game.
Yeah, here it is. 5D chess with multiverse time travel.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah,
and
I see that.
So I think that brings us to
Lightning round?
lightning round.
I
was about to say,
Sarah's
wasn't
the
Sarah?
question.
What Sarah gets her question, and
Yeah,
then
this was my
Yeah.
question.
We keep
Oh,
bullying
sorry, I
Sarah.
forgot.
yeah, you can't skip their
Sorry,
question too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My question is from AJ on Discord, and it
AJ?
is AJ, or maybe just
AJ.
Adj. I don't know.
No, it's AJ.
AJ
Adj.
it is. Over the course of TNT so far, and generally your time playing and or DMing D&D campaigns if you want, what is the most important thing you've gained? Skills, a treasured memory, something tangible, etc.
Yeah, I've learned how to tell us stories. I learned how to speak real good. I've learned how to edit. I've learned how to do all those technical things, which is cool, I suppose. And just generally, I think we touched on this earlier when we were talking about how we grew as people playing and from start to finish, etc. But like, I just got to play a game a ton with my close friends for a really long time in a way that I don't think we would have made the time for otherwise, which for me is cool to have people so interested, invested in this story that it lives in my brain and that we can collaboratively tell. That's a kind of like not once in a lifetime thing, but it's kind of like this 3-year period of time, this chunk that you can say like that is a moment where my hobby was dedicated to this, and I had this group of people around me that we all had that dedication to this one thing, and that's a treasured kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
Is that too touchy-feely?
No.
No.
I got real funny. There we go.
Because I'm gonna get all touchy-feely.
Oh shit!
no.
I'm
Don't
gonna
make
I'm
me
gonna get all
cry.
sad and stuff.
No.
Like I've learned how to be a better role player and stuff. I learned how to engage more in D&D and such. And I have greatly enjoyed my time playing this game and this podcast that
We're
we're
making
doing
it
because
sounding like it's ending.
it's not ending.
It's been
It's good and I
3-year
want it to
period.
keep going, but I'm just saying, like, like if I wasn't
died.
a part of this. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't a part of this from the start and stuff, right? Like I don't know if I would have kept my passion as much as I have for D&D. Like it probably would have just like gone the wayside, and it would have just been like, oh yeah, I've played D&D
There's a
once
thing
or
I did in
twice and
university.
stuff. But it's great, and I get to play it with all of my friends who also enjoy D&D and stuff too. So I want to keep doing this. I want to keep going. I want to see where everything ends up, and I want to just keep on going.
Yeah, the friendship is definitely the thing for me, because I agree with you, Ben, in terms of like I've become a better player, I've become a better role player, things like that. But I think the main thing is just that, after half of you graduated from university, there was still this way that like every week, every 2 weeks or so, we would be able to keep in touch, not only, getting together and playing the game, but talking about it outside the game, getting excited about stuff. And then after all of us have graduated and, we're all in separate places, just having that reason to hang out with everybody, and not only hang out more, but also talk to you guys more, and like, I think become closer with everybody too. And in the case of you, Carla, just like getting to know you and getting to become your friend is really, really great and really invaluable. Like, I don't really talk much to like my friends from high school, for example. Like, we still have a group chat and I'll message them occasionally, like, oh yeah, no, hopefully everybody's doing well. Yeah, like, congrats, you got engaged, like stuff like that. But getting to hang out really regularly with people, even in the absence of that physical connection, has been not only important like during pandemic times, but also just in general is really, really special to me and means so much to me.
I think for me, there are two general or like big things that comes to mind. First is like getting confidence in, because like the game sort of helps me in a way think about my actions. Wait, where am I going with this?
Confidence.
Confidence. Guiding principle, confidence.
Like sticking to decisions and sticking up to that, which is, I feel like, super important. And the second thing is obviously gaining new friends, because like I didn't go to university with the four of them. I just knew one person out of all of them, and then I remember the only interaction I've had with Ben, Sarah, and Sam was through phone calls. Like, I would be talking to Luke, and then like he will be super fucking weird and be like, "Hey, Carla says hi," and then everyone says hi, and then that's done. So gaining new friends and like having, because like this is like my first D&D game that has stuck, and I feel like there's like some different sense of camaraderie. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Great sense of bond
Friendship.
that forms from playing this specific game. So I think those are two things. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry when I edit this.
I think y'all pretty much covered like the role, like getting better with role playing. Like, I think definitely doing this has also kind of helped with, like, I'm still working on it, mind you. I'm not great at this, like learning when not to talk kind of thing. Like people have like their moments and that kind of stuff. But like I do sometimes think about what would have happened if I hadn't asked to join, because I wasn't, because I'm not someone who usually does that kind of stuff.
I'm so glad you did.
Like
Yeah.
when, like, I think like I didn't know it was happening really until you guys had like made a mention of it during like one of our one shots, and then you
Sam?
had left the room, Luke.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I like looked to Ben and Sarah, and I'm like, "Wait, you guys are like doing a thing outside the thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, like we're playing D&D." And you guys were like doing D&D stuff with other people already, so it was, but like for some reason in my head at that moment, I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm graduating soon." And I know for a fact that if I don't keep in contact with people, like everything kind of like I have not, like Sarah was talking about like group chat with like high school friends. I haven't really talked to anyone outside of you guys
Yeah.
in a long time, because like in my brain it's sort of like if no one reaches out first, I've kind of taught myself to like, hey, you're always the one reaching out, like time to like take the step back kind of thing. And so like I always get in my head sometimes about like, oh man, imagine if you hadn't done that. Like you would have come home, you would still have the job you have now, but like what else would you do?
Yeah, but fuck that, because we're living in the right now.
We're all together, and
Sam-
that's what's important.
When I
Yeah.
came back from going to the bathroom and Ben and Sam were like, yeah, we're doing a podcast, I nearly melted into a pile of embarrassed goo on the ground right there at that moment. We already played D&D together, but the idea that we would be like, yes, we are starting a Dungeons and Dragons podcast because we all like Dungeons and Dragons and podcasts, that's so, to this day, is so embarrassing to me in a way that just shakes me to my core. And so even you, our friend who was like, can I play? I was like, but what if you think we're nerds? Which is the same reason, fucking circling it back, that I was like, Ben, can you ask Sarah? Because I would literally die of embarrassment, because Sarah will be like, you're a fucking nerd. Are you kidding me?
And that is what I said to Ben in all fairness.
Oh yeah. Like
True.
I
did relay that information.
I have said like, oh wow, like we're nerds, but I always like bring the group in together. Like I don't know, like I'm glad I asked, and even
Yeah.
though there's always been a thought of like, they didn't ask you to join them. You kind of like brought yourself into this. Like I have
Made it
not
better. You
had a bad time with you guys, basically.
Not only is
so
the
glad.
podcast better, like with you in it, in terms of just like the depth that Serenep adds to the group, but I also just think like Sam having you in the party, just like as a friend and as someone that I get to talk to, however many times per month, I think is so valuable and so wonderful. And I'm so glad
Yeah.
that you're here.
I agree.
How dare you.
Everyone's gonna start crying.
Yes.
I'm already starting to tear up. Stop.
You guys are just like all such wonderful people, and I'm so I'm so lucky not only to have the opportunity to know you, but to have had the opportunity to like just continue to be keeping in touch with everybody after graduation, and like that just means a lot to me because y'all are amazing.
Like I know I've known you guys for different lengths of times. Like Ben, me and you have known each other since like middle school. I met you guys in university. Carla, I met you at the tail end, but like you guys are like my best friends. I love you guys. I love being able to talk to you. I love like the times that we decide to like, if something happens and we can't record, we'll still talk to each other and we'll like play a game together, because we like hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And all of you are crying. You're gonna make me cry. Please don't.
love you
No,
too,
I'm
Sam.
laughing so that I don't
Oh,
cry.
thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in your corner like, aha, all these people crying. How
Yeah,
funny.
The world's kind of rough and shitty, and making this show with you all is
Makes
very
it
good, and
less.
it's fun. It's definitely a highlight, and if I could do it more, I would want to. Right?
Mhm.
That's the
Second
entire thing.
podcast?
No.
Podcast number
technically
two.
already do
Workers
it. We
can
technically already do a
currently
second
wild stuff.
podcast.
We can
please.
finally do Krakens and Castles.
Stop. No. Yeah. I appreciate you all. And now that we've all cried and I've cut out that 10 minutes of us crying all together, do you want to do lightning round?
Yeah.
How does
Sure.
this
Rules
work for the lightning
How does-
round?
yeah, how does it work?
are Ben asks the question, Carla has to answer Ben's question. Carla asks the question, I answer Carla's question. It goes in that order. Does everyone know?
I answer Sam's question.
Everyone
Ben
gets
answers
to
my
ask a question and an answer. The answer comes first. The question comes after.
Does
What?
it not? Does it no longer
No.
matter what color question
Not
we ask?
Jeopardy.
Or
It's all yellow. Ben asks a question. Carla has to answer it. Carla then quickly has to ask me a question. I have to
Yes,
answer it. I
we
will
got
quickly
that
ask
part.
You,
You're
Sam,
gonna
a
be so
question.
messy the first couple of
It's gonna be
checks,
super
like-
messy, just like the rest of the podcast. All right, Ben,
Okay.
The Rock, Ben.
Does it matter
Order.
what questions we ask?
Yellow,
Nope, they're all
Ben.
good. No,
Yellow
any of them.
questions.
Any
All
of them.
right,
Any of them.
Patreon question from Martina. Carla, imagine a world in which Swim switched roles with their pets, i.e. the pets were PCs and the PCs were pets. What kind of pets would Swim be and what classes would the pets play? For Luke, are there any never mind. Are there any NPCs that have pets that are
Bye, Luke.
hitherto unaware of?
Wait, what? And what classes would the pets play? What kind of pets? Ben would be a badger. Luke is going to be a turtle. Wait, no, not Ben.
not a pet.
Whistler. Whistler is going to be a badger. Sam is going to be
Canonical Sam. Let's go, people.
Serenade is going to be Jigglypuff.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. You know what? Yes, I'll go with it. Let's do this.
Sarah is going to be an owl. Integrity.
Wait, who?
An owl.
Mira.
Owl.
Mira's an owl.
Mira is going to be an owl.
Thank you.
Integrity is going to be a daredevil.
Fuck yes.
Artist is going to be a pigeon.
Cool. All right, ask and answer.
I like
All
calling
right.
my Pokemon. Thank you.
Next
question for you, Luke. What's your favorite NPC joke? Unless if your character could change one specific event from their
who
lives.
asked this question though?
Oh,
Yeah,
Syndra.
you gotta say who asked.
This question is
Syndra.
from Syndra on Patreon.
And where it's okay.
My question is from Syndra. Who's your favorite NPC? Joke, unless if your character could change one specific event from their lives within the campaign or otherwise,
Yes.
what would they change?
I will answer for Artis. Artis would do anything in his power to keep Fidan from leaving on that expedition that she went missing on. My favorite NPC is absolutely Syndra. This document is written by Syndra, and she has handed me the answer to the question. Thank you all.
Nesca stands
You
crying.
need to add some like rustling paper noises in the background.
The next question
Just
from
put Sam
Patreon,
on
Crate
audio.
Dragons Scrambled Eggs. And this is for you, Sam. When Swim are going around campus on their adventures, what do their pets do? Do they just sleep all day like Mr. Wiggles? Do they meet one another? That sort of thing.
I like to think that they definitely have a secret meeting place
Yes.
in like one of the rooms, and they all just like meet up and they just like eat snacks, especially after like the pet arc. They like have like a whole new system of like, hell yeah, like we're teammates and we're gonna like hang out and spend time together. And then the next time that they go out on their own adventure, the power of friendship will be so powerful that they will nuke everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's what happened last time, too.
This question is from Discord from Eugene. Sarah, what is your favorite color?
Purple.
Wonderful.
This question is for Ben from Tess on Discord. If you were communing with the progenitor, what defining characteristic would you be known for? A la horned one, noble one, tall one, etc., etc.
Short one.
But you're not
Hell yeah.
short. Oh, Winsler.
Yeah.
Ben, though. What about a Ben?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Indecisive. Indecisive
There
one.
we go. Perfect.
That's good.
This is a question for Carla. This is from Discord, from Noda/Melly. Whose swim mom would win in a 1v1 against each other? Expanding on this question, in a 2v2 fist fight, which parents would win? Artists can also participate as school dad, but who would be the other school parent?
1v1 Mira's mom and Integrity's mom on whose business is better. And then on on the 2v2, I would like Serenip's parents versus my parents. And Artis is the the referee.
The judge?
Now who would win though? Who would win?
Yeah,
Oh,
who would win,
my
not the
parents.
fight?
Fuck Serenip's parents.
No.
Not even Mira's
You know what?
parents.
Serenip
God damn.
agrees. A high five.
Damn.
For Luke. Hi, Luke. This is a question from Discord from a person called Jakob. If you easily could, what's one established thing you would like to retcon?
You asked me this question in its lightning round?
Everything?
Scandal.
Oh God, he's breaking.
One thing I get to
Internet can't
retcon
handle
it. Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would.
Yes.
As long as it's established.
Like Artis is actually blonde.
Oh.
Fuck.
Delnis would have never said that she had a room on campus. Easy.
I didn't even know she said that.
Yeah.
Damn.
People talk about it constantly.
They do? I've never heard anyone talk about
I
it.
have a question from Luca for you, Sam. Luca on Discord asks, if Wildcliff had Yik Yak, which characters would start a podcast?
I feel like Bailey Blue would try to start something like, oh yeah, people want to hear what I want to talk about, right? And like he'll try for like a couple of weeks to get some other people on board, but like no one wants to join him.
He'd just call it the Bailey Blue podcast, hoping that would be
Gross.
enough.
So
He likes
pretentious
the
of
Bailey
him.
Blue experience.
No, it's called
I
I'm
imagine
So
it would-
Blue, the Bailey Blue podcast.
Oh my God.
I was just about to say, like, I imagine like a school radio show, if that makes sense. Like, it's set up like a podcast, but like it plays on like the fucking PA system, and no one can escape it. This question, Sarah, is from Discord under I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, Asis or Asis.
Oh, yes.
What is the best / funniest NPC name according to you?
Kenneth Horse Wrangler or Rock Jerry.
Hell yes.
Easy.
Okay, question for Ben from Emil. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh. Oh, why did I have to get asked this one? Coffee Crisp?
Ooh, good.
Nice.
Ooh, good.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a good one.
That's great. It's the best.
Carla, this is a question also from Discord from Melly. What's everyone's favorite dinosaur? But in this case, it might just be you. Or I guess you can answer for everybody.
Wonderful question, Ben. I have very limited knowledge about dinosaurs, so I would just say it for me or character.
Say what everyone's favorite dinosaur
Us,
is.
the players,
Oh.
say what our favorite dinosaurs are, Carla.
Favorite.
Yeah. What
Okay.
are our favorite dinosaurs, Carla?
For Luke, T-Rex. For Ben, Velociraptor. Why are you sad, Luke?
Keep going. It's lightning round.
Oh my God.
Velociraptor. Sam's is like the one with the long neck, the one that eats
Diplodocus.
Fuck yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
And then Sarah's is the bird one.
Pterodactyl.
The one-
Pterodactyl?
Just the one?
Pterodactyl. And Carla is the one that was found in Canada that is actually not really a dinosaur, but it's like the
I have no idea.
it's Tiktaalik. Oh, next question. For Luke, because you're the only one who can probably answer this out of all of us. From Luca on Discord. Is Roger okay?
Yeah, he's doing good.
Sounds
Next, I have a question from Discord from Slother for you, Sam. Can you drop some episode 436 spoilers?
What? You mean it was Rock Jerry all along? No!
Okay.
This is on Discord from Michael. What are you proudest of regarding the podcast?
The ability of content that we're able to regularly put out. We have not had 1 week that we have not put something out for the entire 3 years we've done the podcast. I'm especially impressed with our ability to do Weenie Hollow every year, just an entire week of content with Q&As and everything. That's really fucking cool. I'm proud of that. My question is for Ben from Simon. How good is the music Ben makes for the podcast?
I would say it's pretty good, you know?
It's very good.
Considering I am the one who made them. So, yes. Carla, here's a question from Luca in the Discord. What's the current timestamp of this recording session?
I can answer that for you fast, quick. According to GarageBand, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes and 53 seconds. Now 54 seconds. Now 56 seconds.
56, 57.
She's stuck in a
58,
loop. She's never going to be
59.
not answering this question.
Next question is for Luke.
Yes.
From Peter Mountain of the Patreon. Did the combat natured system of D&D push the campaign to include more life and death situations, or was that a desire of Luke's? I'd imagine a long-tenured school to be safer or sorted these things out by now. In a similar vein, did you all consider a non-5-year play, or do you wish you would have? Well, I guess like you can answer the beginning.
I can answer all of it. Yes. It being we only ever played 5e, so I never considered us playing something else as our first going. That's why all the bonus episodes are different systems so that we can play around with them. The combat nature of it does push us to have more combat encounters and stuff like that. And when they do show up, they're fun, and I wish there was more of them. But the podcast and the way I run combat does not get along. And no, I just like putting characters in dangerous situations because I just want to hurt my friends. That's the answer.
Fuck.
I have a question
Beautiful.
from Instagram for you, Sam, from Jolie Fraser. Is the campaign based on an existing D&D campaign? Also, wait, has Integrity had a tail this whole time?
Yes, I was also very surprised when I realized canonically that Integrity has a tail. I think one of the first art pieces I did of Integrity having a tail, like I literally like sent a message to you, Carla, of like, hey, so what do you imagine the tail looks like? Because this was my first time being like, oh shit, I have to draw this right. I haven't drawn it as often as I should.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
just
want
there.
to start drawing the tail more often because it's very cool to draw. And if it's based on any previous thing, I don't believe so. I don't believe there's anything else quite like it. Like it's ours.
One of a kind.
Go away.
Get your own.
Hero.
When
Damn
you
right.
say that our podcast is like yours, fuck you. That's not true.
you hear that?
This question is from Discord from Troubled and the Scarlet Clock Stopper. For Sarah, what are your favorite classes to play? Are you in any other campaigns? What are they about?
Oh my God.
What will happen after the campaign ends? Will the podcast end, or will a new campaign start?
My favorite class to play, I'm actually really enjoying playing Bard right now. I think that's a very fun time. I also am very partial to being a rogue. I've played every class at least once, but there's some I'd really like an opportunity to play more, because like things like Sorcerer and Barbarian I've only done very, very briefly, so I'd love to do more of those. I am in one other campaign at the moment. It is DM'd by Nathan of Conversations and Catapults fame. Luke's in it as well.
Hi.
It's a very good and fun time. I enjoy it. We play some teenage girls in a post-apocalyptic world with a portal to the Underdark nearby, trying to prevent a war and deal with all the weird factions in our town. It's good stuff. After the campaign ends, I imagine we'll be doing a new campaign. I know we've talked about playing postal workers before. I don't know if we really will be, but I think if we do, that'd be very good and cool and fun.
Very pog.
Question from Melly from the Discord to Ben. Is Gnome a recessive gene? Is Winsler adopted? Were any other non-dwarfs with the Claybeard clan?
Gnome is a recessive gene. Yes, Winsler is adopted. Unofficially, he was just kind of left on a doorstep. No, there are no other non-dwarfs in the Claybeard clan. Just him.
Just him.
Cute.
Gnome is recessive.
Carl, I have a question for you.
What is it?
In this lightning round, from Aaron Rose on the Patreon. Any chance y'all will ever explore what could have been? For example, playing in an alt timeline for a bonus episode or something where artist was evil, etc.
I mean, I am unable to say that it definitely will happen, but the hope is maybe one shot is quite interesting to see everyone evil. That is my answer. For Luke, hey you, Luke, answer this question. Have you guys ever talked
Who's it
about how
from?
long the campaign will
Who's it
go
from?
for until Swim graduates?
from?
It
Who's
is
it from?
from cabbage.moth. Thank you very much.
Have you guys ever talked about how long the campaign will go for? We've decided that it will go until we think that it's reached a good ending point in terms of this campaign. Yeah.
Or until everyone dies.
Or until everyone
That's an ending
dies.
point.
Death is not the end.
Hey.
Okay, I have a question, and this will probably be one of the last couple that we ask because we're actually going through most of them. Sam, how many chicken nuggets? This is from Oceanic on the Discord server. Sam, how many chicken nuggets can you eat in a minute?
Never enough.
How wise.
Good
Such
enough.
sage wisdom.
Wonderful.
This is a question on Discord from Luca for Sarah. Ever think of the podcast and go, ah?
Yes. I don't see any other quick fire questions. Was that the last one?
I think that might have been the last couple ones, yeah.
All right.
Oh, no, there's one remaining from Luca, actually.
Ben, what question would you ask yourself in a year based on the podcast right now?
Do you ever regret?
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah. that's most of these questions. If we didn't answer one of your questions, we've given the list of all the unanswered questions to Nathan for them to do whatever their diabolical brain wants to do with those in CNC mostly. And I hope you've all enjoyed this.
No, there's one more question. There's one more
Yeah,
question we
look,
have to answer.
there's
Luke
like
from
one.
Luca.
There's one more question there that we
So
have
many
to
good
ask.
on the
We're
Discord.
recording this right at the minute, so I think someone just submitted this question to be read. So right before I do the outro, Carla, could you read this question for us?
The entire thing?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay,
You
I
have to
can read
the
it
entire
super
question.
fast, but while
No,
still
give it
being
enough time to, like,
understandable.
Yeah, understandable is the comprehension. This is an audio program, of course.
Okay, I can do that. What if a giant kaiju...
Who's it from?
Oh, wait, no, it's from Luca, by the way, from Discord. What if a giant kaiju just showed up and smashed everything? Like, it just showed up and smashed everything. Like, just smashed the towers and all the buildings, just ate the mountain. Like, a big, giant fucking monster that just shows up and fucking wrecks everything. And everyone is screaming and running away. But, like, the monster isn't eating anyone because they're, like, ants. And, like, we don't eat ants, and we're giant. So, like... Imagine Wycliffe as an anthill, and we're the kaiju, but like we're people, right? So the anthill, which is Wycliffe, is really small, and we're smashing the anthill, but not eating the ants because that would be weird. And we're just yelling and smashing and yelling and smashing because we're a kaiju. And Wycliffe is the anthill, and the students are the ants, and they're yelling and running and yelling and running, but ants don't yell, so the kaiju can't hear them to stop smashing and wrecking Wycliffe, and they just keep going and smashing up Wycliffe. Wouldn't that be fucked up?
Yeah,
it would be
fucked
pretty
up, yeah.
fucked up.
What the fuck?
I want to thank
Thanks,
Luca.
for asking
Thank
that
you,
question.
Luca.
You got it right before the buzzer.
Oh my god.
If you enjoyed this episode or any other episode we've made, please leave a rating and review on our Apple Podcast page. We have a couple of social media accounts you can follow at Trials and Trebs on Instagram and Twitter. There's a Discord server, the link to which is in the description. Tons of fun little channels there. It's where we got most of our questions. So if you're into that, go there and ask more questions. And then finally, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/trialsandtrebs. It financially supports the show and the people who make it, and any support of yours over there, should you be able to afford it, is wildly appreciated. And until next year, when we do another mailbag and we get to pull out our mailbag personas, bye.
Thank you all for
Thank you
submitting
guys so much.
questions.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for-
Bye.
Bye.
For listening and for all your support.
Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.